Bitcoin, we start with forward chart. If we refer to my last analysis, since the price was here, we put this one. We mentioned we're looking for correction and buy. This is the correction we get. And we come up with the target 122K, exactly the price tag. Then we see the sharp reversal. Okay, this is the target which we indicate in my last analysis we have been looking for. Okay, anyway, we started the higher time frame. We want to see what's the changes and what we are looking for. We prefer to move to weekly chart because there is no difference between weekly and monthly. And based on weekly chart, we mentioned the next target with the breakout of the all-time high. This one, we're looking at least for 135 with the breakout of the 135. As a long term, we're looking for 170. All right, this is what we have been looking for. But if we move to lower time frame based on daily chart, we mentioned if the price continue within this move, within this range as a corrective move, we're looking for 129 before the price tag 135. Because if their continuation as a corrective, similar to what I drew here, mostly we will see the next drop at least similar to what we have here. We want to see how sharp the price can break 129. Anyway, we have been looking for buy the price based on lower time frame forward chart, the price tag, the targets, and now we want to see what's the next. Whether this one can continue and break the all-time high following by breaking 129, or we can expect the price at least retest this line. This line is indicative. And even we can expect if there is a drop, we can expect the price to drop to 111 again. Okay, we don't need to follow the lines. And the only thing is we want to see what we will get from here. Breakout of the all-time high on 129 or the next drop. Okay, and at this point, I don't see any trade setup based on daily chart. And even we give it, if the price retests the all-time high, we should look at the divergence. That's why if anyone wants to look for buy, if doesn't move in our direction, they should know how to manage it. Okay. And if we move to forward chart, the price, as I mentioned, tag 122, the short-term target for the forwards, and no one see what's the next. Whether this is the correction in relative to what we have here for the next drop before we get the reversal or not. That's why if anyone wants to look for buy from here, they have to be quite careful. And even based on forward chart, for me, I don't see any trade setup. And if I move to 1 hour chart, can we consider this one as a flag? Can we expect this one as a flag by having to look for the entry above, by having entry above this? It can be an option, but I don't think it's a good trade setup. That's why we prefer to wait, because if anyone wants to look for a trade for buy from here, the only option is to put the entry above the top. But how about if the price retest and drop? That's why they should know how to manage it. Okay. And for me, I prefer to wait and see what will be, I mean, what this correction will be, whether the correction in relative to what we have here for the next drop or continuation. That's why I mentioned I prefer to wait. And after 2 to 3 hours, we can confirm whether this is the flag. And mostly, if it's a flag, we have to look at the flag based on lower time frame. Okay. And if we move to either 30-minute or 15-minute. And for me, I prefer to wait. Okay, because if we move to 15-minute, then how would if this one as a 1, 2, 3, then drop? That's why having entry above here, we have to be quite careful. Anyway, we follow the chart and I will wait for another few hours. Then I will come. Then because in that case we can confirm what's the next, whether the continuation or the next drop. At this point, I prefer to wait. And again, we follow the chart. If I see any update, I will share. Thanks.